So marination, should you or shouldn't you? I don't know, let's find out. So what do you think? Do you marinate your steaks? Do you not marinate your steaks? If you do marinate them, how do you do it? All that stuff, leave in the comments. I like to read that stuff. You know, the cool thing about YouTube is you can actually jump on there and learn. My grandpa, he's on YouTube. One of my friends that's not a computer guy, he's on YouTube. So obviously YouTube is one of the most popular search engines in the world. I think it's only second to Google, if you can believe it. So definitely we use YouTube a lot. And that's kind of why we do the YouTube videos, is to share what we learn or share things we do. And surprisingly, I've learned so much just doing that as well. So leave the comment. With that being said, if you like videos that go over the Blackstone products, recipes on the Blackstone, seasoning the Blackstone, we're a big Blackstone family. So every time we go to Walmart, just about, we're always looking at the Blackstone stuff. I mean, that's what we've done for probably a couple of years now since we've got our Blackstone. So love the Blackstone products if you like that. Or also if you like travel videos, if you like camping, them kind of things, if that's what you're into, subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate that, because that's what we like to share. So just jumping in, I'm gonna go over some pros and some cons. I know there's people that religiously marinate. There's people that religiously don't marinate. Not a whole lot of people in the middle. I'm gonna go over the pros first, and then I'm gonna jump into the cons a little bit later. Pros, I would say obviously is taste. Everyone marinates for taste. You wanna know, or you wanna improve what the taste of your steak is, or your meat, or whatever. That's why people marinate. So I am actually for marinating steaks. I like to do it. I like the taste. I'm kind of a basic person with it, though. I know there's people out there that have concoctions that have been passed down through their family for years. If that's you, leave it in the comments, because I want to know what them are too. However, I try to keep it simple. So when I do marinate, I do a little bit of oil with some Worcestershire sauce. I marinate it in that solution for 30 minutes to overnight or something. And then I also add some seasonings. What's nice about having the oil on there is it helps the seasoning stick to the meat. So that's my big thing, is obviously the taste. But the second thing, this is something that's been out there quite a bit, is health. So I guess there's a safety aspect of marinating your steaks. A lot of people might not know this, but I guess some of the studies they've done out there involve putting your steak on the Blackstone Griddle or any kind of griddle, and when it chars, it actually creates this charring effect that is what they say is carcinogenic. So that if you're the health person, you didn't know that, go look it up. I don't know that for sure. I'm not a doctor or scientist. I just hear things. I try to research it. And it's one of them things where, be careful of studies, I would say. A lot of people don't know who went into the studies. If they studied the Uncle Buck person that's on the 5-year plan.
Well, 5-year plan. I eliminated the cigarettes, then I go to cigars, then I go to pipes, then I go to chewing tobacco, then I'm onto that nicotine gum.
Of trying to quit tobacco. If they study that person, obviously that person's not going to do very well in any kind of study. So you got to take them things into consideration. Or if they study the marathon runner that eats roots all the time and is just trying to be the pillar of health, that person would skew studies as well. So I recommend checking out the study, but that is something that I read. So who knows? What goes into a marinade? There's kind of some main ingredients. And this is where if you buy pre-marinades, they'll have all this stuff in there. But of course, one of them's fats, obviously. Fats are gonna be like your olive oil, maybe butter, that kind of thing. That's gonna be your fats. What's cool about fats is it actually helps transfer the fat-soluble ingredients or seasonings to the meat. So there is actually a use for that. Obviously, people like to use fat because it helps the griddle not stick to it, that kind of thing. So like I said, olive oil, butter, that kind of thing. Second thing is salt. Salt is going to be, obviously not only adding a little bit of taste to the meat, but it also loosens the muscle fibers. And it also helps transfer water-soluble seasonings and ingredients to the meat. Acid's another thing. A lot of people don't realize that, but acids, sometimes that can be like lemon or, whatever people add. I've heard of people adding Coca-Cola and stuff, the acid of that to do it as well. But apple cider vinegar is another one. So what acid's going to do is it's going to weaken the surface proteins. So there is I guess a method to the madness there. I will say that a lot of people use Worcestershire sauce. I like it too. Cool thing about Worcestershire sauce is it includes all that stuff that I just went over. People have been using it for years, and I think a lot of people use that in their marinade. The cons of marinating. So why do some people not like to marinate? Obviously, they might not like the taste. The taste might be a big one. Maybe they just like the salt and pepper. They like to keep it that simple. I have a friend that doesn't like to hide the taste of the meat. That's what he feels. So obviously that's going to be one con. The other con too is if you don't know what you're doing, or if you buy the wrong pre-marinade, they might not have it in the proper balances. That's a big deal. So to give you an example, too much sugar in a marinade can lead to burning your meat. I found that out the hard way. Probably a lot of people have, but you got to be careful with that. Now our family we like our steaks well done. So that's just, I've eaten them that way forever. My mom cooked them that way, so I kind of gained that taste. But with that being said, well done takes away some of that fats, and some of them fats do have, or basically add the taste to it. So I like to add the oil. I like to make sure the oil's in the marinade, and I also like to use like a seasoned butter, which I'll show when I cook the steaks. So I like that. So that's why I do that. But taste is going to be a thing for some people, though, obviously. The other thing with the acid, I will let you know, too much acid could actually make the meat, tougher. So that's something to take into consideration as well. It can make the meat tougher. So I've read that, and that's where you kind of gotta weigh that, and I think that's why a lot of people use the Worcestershire, because they've done their job over all these years, and it seems to work really good. Another con to marinating is going to be time. Not everyone has enough time to properly marinate. They say marinate your steaks in the refrigerator for 30 minutes to overnight, depending on what you want to do. So that is a time aspect. I will mention one more con with the acid. So you have to be careful with that. The acids in the marinade actually can be bad if you're using tin foil or aluminum or something like that, or if you're using like some sort of ceramic type bowl. I recommend glass, or some people use the Ziploc bags, which are really smart too. So make sure you're careful with that. Look that information up too as well. Like I said, I always do like a simple marinade with some olive oil, Worcestershire, and seasoning. That's usually how I do it. But today I'm going to try something a little different with, it's called marinade in a bag, and I'll jump over to kind of give you a closer shot and some more details on it too. So, okay, so like I said, today I'm going to try a different type of marinade. It's called a marinade in a bag. We were actually at Walmart, and we saw this marinade, and I wanted to give it a shot. I think I tried it like a year ago. It seemed to turn out okay. This is a smoky mesquite. I wanted to try a different one. They didn't have it, but we'll see how the smoky mesquite turns out. So to kind of zoom in here, and I'll leave a link in the description of this video, so definitely check that out. But marinade in a bag it, grill it, so on and so forth. It explains how to do it. So refrigerate for 30 minutes, zip, place the meat in the bag, seal the bag, and then grill, obviously. So here is the list of ingredients in there. If you can read that, you've got your high fructose corn syrup, vinegar, if you remember some of the things that I talked about previously here. You have your salt, and you also, it says Worcestershire sauce, and then in parentheses it's got basically everything that goes into Worcestershire sauce there. Contains 2% of the modified food, whatever that is. And then it says no preservatives somewhere over here as well, which kind of shocks me because it seems like there's a bunch of stuff there. However, there is a little bit of calories as well. Now, what always surprises me about things, and you probably guys have seen this too with nutrition facts, is 19 servings per container. Well, if you're putting the steak in the bag, I don't know how they figure you're going to use 19 servings or not. So I would think that you're going to be using way more than a tablespoon. So that is something to keep in mind if you're watching your diet or your calories. definitely keep an eye on that, because I will say, anytime you're adding in oils, however, olive oils, they say it's real good for you. It does add calories, so you got to watch that. So technically, this is going to be the first time I've done this in a long time, but I am going to do a video on cooking the steak here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back later and do another video on the way I typically marinate it, so that way I can show you both ways in cooking the steak. So hopefully you find this helpful. Me going into detail here, and kind of gives you an idea. All right, cool. So first off, thank you so much for watching this video all the way through. I appreciate that. Hopefully I tried to give a bunch of information, tried to kind of talk about marinades and that thing. So if you found that helpful, maybe educational, maybe it's something you can use, give me a like. I'd really appreciate that. And if you have recipes that you use, maybe you've got some ideas, maybe you have some ideas on why you're against marination, leave a comment. That's always fun too, because honestly, that's what YouTube's about. I mean, if people leave their ideas in comments, that helps a bunch. So definitely do that for me if you would. And then last, if you are that kind of person that uses Blackstone products, you like learning about Blackstone products, you like to know how to season them, you like to know recipes, this channel's for you. Let's say if you're into travel, if you're into using drones, camping, reviews of other products, this channel's for you. So that's what we like to share. That's what we do as a family. So definitely subscribe to our channel, because we put out a lot of information that from the feedback I've gotten has helped a lot of people. So, but thank you so much for watching this video.
Hey guys, this is the end of the video. Make sure that you like and subscribe for more great content that is ready to come. Peace out.